Picture yourself sitting at a table outside a traditional Roman trattoria, scanning the menu. You look at the words pesce and vino rosso. If you already speak French, your brain immediately lights up. You see poisson and vin rouge. The Latin roots are identical. You place your order with total confidence. Then the waiter responds. The words come out in a fast, musical burst with bright, open vowels. You catch maybe one word in 3. You smile, nod, and hope for the best. 10 minutes later, you find out you just agreed to a second bottle of wine you definitely didn't want. That gap between reading comprehension and real conversation is the classic French to Italian experience. The shared written roots build a silent mental translation machine in your head, and it breaks down the moment a local actually speaks to you. If you already know French, you actually do have a massive head start. Thousands of everyday Italian words share the exact same Latin base. The basic machinery of a sentence transfers cleanly, too. Both languages rely on a subject, verb, object structure as their default. The Italian passato prossimo mirrors the French passé composé, an auxiliary verb paired directly with a past participle. Even the choice of auxiliary lines up perfectly. Verbs requiring être in French take essere in Italian. The rest take avoir and avere. These structural alignments mean a French speaker skips years of basic grammar study. You essentially start your Italian acquisition on second base. But that structural overlap creates a deep sense of security. It sets you up to make highly predictable, specific errors. Take burro. French speakers associate it with Spanish and assume it means donkey. In an Italian restaurant, burro is just butter. Or sensibile. The French and English brains map this to being practical or sensible. In Italian, it means emotionally sensitive. Swap those around, and you end up calling a cautious friend emotionally fragile. French relies heavily on subject pronouns to distinguish who is speaking. Watch what happens in Italian. The pronoun completely vanishes, and the verb ending does all the heavy lifting. Over-including pronouns sounds incredibly stilted. The friction gets even worse in the physical production of sound. French pronunciation heavily reduces or completely silences unstressed vowels at the ends of words. Italian demands the opposite. Every single vowel must be fully pronounced with equal weight. If you compress Italian vowels out of habit, you will immediately sound French, no matter how perfect your grammar is. You also have to physically retrain your tongue. The back of the throat uvular R you use in Paris does not exist in Rome. You have to build the muscle memory for a quick, trilled R right behind your upper teeth. Your brain knows the vocabulary, but your mouth is running on old software. Relying strictly on your French intuition forces your mouth to fight your brain, turning a structural advantage into a physical roadblock. To break through this intermediate plateau, you have to stop treating Italian as a dialect of French. The most effective thing you can do is spend your first month of study almost entirely on spoken auditory input. Reading written texts early on will just reinforce your bad phonetic habits. You also need to learn the small, high-frequency filler words that stitch Italian conversations together. Most of these have no direct French equivalent, words like prego, dai, and ma che. They are the discourse markers that convey nuance, social rhythm, and emotion in real-time dialogue. Without mastering active listening and these specific filler words, you might have a massive vocabulary, but you will sound like someone reciting a textbook. This is exactly why traditional, text-based flashcard apps fail French speakers. They reward silent reading comprehension instead of fixing the spoken friction. Street Tongue is built to fix this specific problem. It skips the textbook translations and trains you on how locals actually speak in the real world. The app uses custom AI conversational scenarios and strict pronunciation scoring to recalibrate your ear, forcing you to open up those tricky, squashed vowels under the pressure of a real conversation. Click the link below to download Street Tongue and start bridging the gap between reading a language on paper and actually speaking it natively. If you're coming to Italian or Spanish from French, what specific false friend or pronunciation habit tripped you up the most? Let me know in the comments.